So hi everyone, I'm Monique Gregoire. I'm the Outreach Specialist with NAMI St. Tammany, and I'm this year's NAMIWalks Manager. So I appreciate all of you coming and learning more about what a virtual NAMIWalks is and how we can keep the momentum going. So I know that everybody's first questions whenever we said we were going virtual would be, how do you do that and why? Well, we're going to get to the how do you do that in a minute, but the biggest reason is why. So mental health care is at its greatest need right now. I've been guilty of saying it. I've heard other people say it. We're all just like, oh, I'm so ready to get back to normal. I'm so ready to get back to normal. But, we have a saying that normal is just a setting on a dryer. Everybody's normal is completely different. So as we're returning to our new normal, I think we can all make a little bit of a commitment to do better, not only for ourselves, but, those that we advocate for, those that we are walking for. And like I said, it has a different meaning for everyone. We've all gotten a small glimpse of what it's like to deal with anxiety during this pandemic. Whether you're in a grocery store and someone doesn't have their mask on, or they're coughing, or they're just a little bit too close to you, that's what anxiety feels like, just that standoffishness. And I think with the pandemic, we're also feeling a little bit of uncertainty, especially, we had these 2 hurricanes that were supposed to come. So that was all that uncertainty. And then the loneliness from social isolation. And people with mental illness are dealing with this every day, not just during, this pandemic. It's a daily event for them. So we're just starting to see the effects of mental health care from the COVID-19, whether it's, job loss or depression or isolation. Our office, we take confidential calls and we help point people in the right direction. And I know that our calls have increased not only with the number, but the intensity as well. Eric and I take most of the phone calls that come in the office, and it's not unheard of for us to be on the phone for 35 minutes to an hour, just helping guide these people because they don't know where to go and what to do. And, our community and our country is in a mental health crisis right now. So that's why we walk. And I think the virtual NAMIWalks kind of affords us an opportunity to not only do that awareness in person, but to do it online as well. Every year for the NAMI Walk, someone walks up from the lakefront and, they might be walking their dog or visiting with friends, but they visit the NAMI St. Tammany table and they go, oh, I didn't know these resources were out there. And it prompts them to get help. They see that huge community support that's coming together. And it makes them feel like, you know what, I'm not alone and it's okay that I can go and get help. And that's the only way I'm going to be a better version of myself. So the virtual NAMIWalks opens that door. It shows that community support for anyone that's silently dealing with mental illness. And that's why it's so important. And it's not only about, raising funds to support all these free programs and support groups, but it's about raising awareness as well and reducing that stigma. So that's the why. That's the why we are still doing this walk. Whether we do it virtually or at the lakefront, we're still going to be there creating the awareness. So I want to go into how. Now, this is new for all of us. The spring walks kind of just started, but we know what works for us traditionally. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what's worked for us in the past. Okay. I want to make sure everybody can see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up. Good. All right. So NAMI Walks, our virtual walk day is Saturday, October 10th. That's only 22 days away. So we do not have a lot of time right now. 22 days, not a lot of time. I want to stop for a second and just recognize our national sponsors. We have Alchemies, Takeda, and Lundbeck, who have sponsored NAMI Walks across the country and have been sponsors of ours for the last 4 years. I also want to take a minute to recognize our local sponsors. So these are organizations and businesses that understand the importance of mental health care and have said, yes, we want to back you and we want to show our support as well. So without them, we really couldn't do what we do. So originally our theme was mental health for all. And we've transitioned into NAMI Walks Your Way because it's exactly what it is. You get to choose how you want to create that awareness. So while it might look a little different this year, we're still part of a national mental health movement with over 120 walks across the country. 80 of those walks are happening virtually in the fall, most of them happening on October 10th. 100% of the proceeds that we raise this year will actually stay in our community, dedicated to NAMI St. Tammany's programs, support groups, and resources. Now, our virtual walk. So on walk day, October 10th, walkers are going to participate however they choose, raise awareness and funds by sharing stories throughout social media, phone calls, emails, however you choose to do it. Completely up to you. And as I mentioned, we do have those 80 walks. Most of those are taking place on October 10th. We're calling that a National Day of Hope because all across the country, anyone that logs into social media, we're hoping that they're going to be flooded with the message that you're not alone, and there's support all across the country. There are people that are sharing a journey that's similar to what they're going through. And that awareness, throughout the country is it's a pretty big deal. Some of the things you can do, so you can hike, you can bake, whatever activity you would like to do. Some people might want to say, hey, for every $1 I raise, I'll walk a mile. It might take them a month, but you have that option. You can host an online yoga group or even get your friends together virtually or in person. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Many people still choose to walk. I'm going to get to it a little bit later, but we are still going to be at the lakefront, and we welcome, if you and your team want to come and physically distance and walk along the lakefront, you are invited to do that. But I just wanted to give you some examples of other teams of what they're doing. So Donahue Favret their office is actually on the Mandeville lakefront. So Friday evening, they're going to be doing their own little walk near the lakefront. And they're going to kind of kick us off and get that ball rolling. Living Hope Ministries, who's been a sponsor and a supporter, they've built a team for the last 4 years. They called me up and they were like, hey, is it okay? Can we just do a little walk in our church parking lot? And I'm like, yes, that's great. Living Hope Ministries is located in Slidell. So that is spreading this across the entire parish, which I think is fantastic. Lakeview Regional is another one that I spoke with, and they have a beautiful campus. They're going to be walking around their pond, and it's something interesting as people are going to appointments and things like that. They can look out and they can be, what are all these people doing walking around the pond? So it creates that awareness. People are going to engage and ask questions. So whatever you choose to do, be sure to share it on social media. NAMI St. Tammany is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can tag us on any of those. Now, the national hashtags are mental health for all and not alone. And our hashtag is NAMI St. Tammany. You can use all three. You can use one or the other. But if you're not familiar with how hashtags work, you can go to Facebook and put in hashtag not alone. And anyone who has ever tagged hashtag not alone, you can see all of their stories. So you will be able to see what everybody is doing across the country. And when you add that hashtag NAMI St. Tammany, you can see what people are doing locally. So we ask that whatever you do and whatever you share, please tag us. Now there are social media images and filters. We have a fantastic little profile frame that you can use for your Facebook picture. If you come across a logo that I might share on Facebook or an email, reach out to me and I will get you that image that you can use for your own social media or for emails or just for your team. So you can reach me and I'll give you my information at the end, but walks@namisttammany.org, or you can call our office. All right, so I think this is what everybody's probably most interested in. On October 10th, we are still going to be out at the Mandeville Lakefront. It is not going to look like years past. We're not going to have, all of the sponsor tables and the jumpers and things like that, but we will have a presence. At 8:45, Bayou Yoga is going to kind of come and do a little warm-up session for us. And at 9 a.m., we're going to do a little ceremony online. We're going to have a couple of local leaders talk about mental health care in our community. And at the actual walk site, we'll have, our executive director, Nick, will get up and say a few words. And anyone who wants to is more than welcome to walk. And as you're walking, we are going to have water stations set up, but we're also going to have some photo booths set up along the lakefront. And these photo booths will allow you to take a team picture, take an individual picture. You can text it to yourself, you can email it, and you can share it on social media. And it should have the little NAMIWalks logo so that you can show, hey, look, I'm still out here at the lakefront and I'm promoting mental health awareness. So, and if nothing else, take a drive along the lakefront. Take a look and see what everyone's doing. And again, it's completely up to you and whatever you feel comfortable with. These are just a few options. So let's talk about fundraising. Fundraising has not changed. As you can see right now, we're at 52% of our goal. So 22 days and we've raised $60,000. We still have a long ways to go. We're still supporting the same mental health resources, support groups, and education programs. And, there are things you can do. For those of you that have participated before, go to people that have made donations to you and say, hey, would you mind making a donation this year? Any amount makes a difference, even if it's $5. And they might have just gotten busy. I'm a mom of 2 kids. I'm trying to balance a lot of different worksheets and calendars and everything else right now. So it might be that someone wanted to donate and they said, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this on the side. I'll come back to it. So all you can do is ask. Now we're still gonna use the same model and we'll go into this in a little more depth. But the first thing you have to do is register. It's completely free. Register, make a self-donation if you choose. Again, $5. That's all you can do. That's great. But it's showing people that you're supporting the cause that you're asking them to support. So let's talk about teams. There's Living Hope Ministries from a few years ago. Like I said, they've been walking with us and supporting us for about 4 years now. So teams are still the heart of the NAMIWalks. Even if we can't gather in person, they actually raise the majority of funds. And they do a lot of unique things. This is one of our board members and his group, and every year he designs new t-shirts. And you will always spot him at the Mandeville Lakefront. So you can come together, as I said, in person, virtually. You can walk along the lakefront with us, do a Zoom, or do something on social media. It's up to you. Now, building a virtual team, there's 3 things. Communicate what you do. That's the biggest. Model the action, recognize, and repeat. So you want to communicate these steps. Ask people to register. Now, Erica's going to go ahead and put the registration link in the chat if anyone needs it, or we can email it out after. But you can go to namiwalks.org/NAMI St. Tammany, click on register. Now, if you have a team and you're trying to build your team, you can refer people to that website and they can click register and search for your team, or you can just share your direct team link. And that way they have the option where they can join your team or they can support your team. Again, the key is asking. Ask them to register, however works for you, whether it's email, text message, phone calls, or in person. If they can't register right now, ask them for a donation. I know that I have my husband, my kids, we're all registered. It's completely free. So my 5-year-old, my 10-year-old will be at the lakefront with us. Model the action. Make sure that you're doing what you're asking other people to do. So this quote is great. It's what you do has far greater impact than what you say. Self-donate. Again, a $5 donation will make a difference. Here's an example. I'm using Mr. Tom Rowe, and he made a $1,000 self-donation. Now, I know not everybody can do that, but any little bit helps. So decide. Make a decision on what you want to do. Your team can do something together, or each person can do something separate. Just make sure that you're sharing. You're sharing with your team members, and you're sharing on social media, and sharing with us as well. So again, you can hashtag NAMI St. Tammany, or you can email walks@namisttammany.org to share those. Now, sharing your story is always a big deal. Customizing your walk page. Marion Kennedy, she has been with one of our walkers for about 4 years, since the very beginning. And that's the first thing she does. She registers and she personalizes her walk page to tell her story. It's, again, another small thing that you can do to tell people why you're walking. If you take the time to kind of change the template and add in your own story, you're likely to raise 10 times more. And it doesn't have to be in depth. It can just be like, I see the difference that mental health care makes with the right supports and the right resources. But personalize it to you. And again, use social media and communicate it. Text, email, invite others. Recognize and repeat. Pretty simple. So our recognition gifts, this is always everybody's favorite. The t-shirts are always, we go through these things pretty quick. Anyone who raises $100 or more will receive a t-shirt. Now, I just want to clarify, because there's always some confusion. If I raise $1,000, that doesn't mean I get 10 t-shirts. If you raise $100, you can get one t-shirt, and that's per individual walker. And I know some people will say, hey, I want to do a $500 donation, but I want to get my kids a t-shirt. Okay, well, you can register yourself, your husband, your 2 kids, or your 3 kids, and then everybody put $100 on each person, and each person gets a t-shirt. In addition to that, we have all these lovely gifts. So at $250, we have a nice little insulated cup or a waist pack. At $500, t-shirts or a beach towel. $1,000 is an umbrella. It's an inverted umbrella. This thing is massive, y'all. We got it in my office. It takes up most of my desk. The fleeces are always a hit, and then we have a duffel bag and a rolling ice chest, and we know those ice chests can go far around here. And the way the gifts work is, if you raise $100, you get a t-shirt. If you raise more than that, then you get to choose from whatever prize level you get. You have up to 30 days after the walk to meet your goal to choose one of these prizes. And I'll tell you this, one of the things, if I'm at 225, I can post on Facebook and say, hey guys, I'm $25 away from my goal. Can anyone, make a couple of donations, of $5 donations or a $25 donation? And that way I'm meeting my goal and I'm getting the gift that I want. So once you meet your goal, you're going to receive an email that's going to tell you, here, go ahead and choose your gift, and it's going to be shipped directly to your home. So any single individual who raises $1,000 or more gets an exclusive NAMIWalks star pin, and those are handed out at usually, which we had to postpone it this year because of COVID, but they're handed out at our captain's meeting. Now, some of the fun resources, if you are part of our email group, you might have seen some of these. We have the participant guide that kind of walks you through what you need to do, what's the best way to raise funds, what's the best way to raise awareness, and some tools that you can use to do that. We also have our signs of hope, and these, again, I've shared as well. Very simple. You can share your story, write a quick note, take a selfie, post it on social media, what you want or what you hope or why you're walking. We also have a guide for using social media. Again, hashtags are not everybody's thing. Up until probably about 5 years ago, it was still a pound sign to me. It wasn't a hashtag, it was a pound sign. So this kind of walks you through different ways to do it. And again, I have tons of different images. If you'd like, reach out to me. So whatever you decide to do on walk day, be sure you share it. Share it with us. So we hope you join us on October 10th, but again, you can choose whatever you want. Now, I'm going to open it up because I'm sure there might be some questions. Feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself. And if y'all have any questions, now's the time to ask. Nothing? Okay, well, Eric and I are both available in the office Monday through Friday. Feel free to reach out. If you do have any questions, if something comes up and you're just not sure about it, give us a call. The number is 985-626-6538. That's 985-626-6538. Or you can email us at walks@NAMI St. Tammany NAMIWalks.org.